Welcome back to another episode of the Cycle Podcast, where we cover 4 trending World Series topics on this World Series preview show. We've got Josh, a.k.a. Kablumski, back in the house for this episode. Josh, we missed you last week. How you doing?
I'm pumped to be back, man. Great show last week again. I got to get my act together because you're finding all these good guys to fill in my shoes. So I hope I bring it today. I'm excited. We're talking World Series. Can't get nothing better than that.
No, and thank you again to Caleb Williams for joining us. But Josh, nobody matches your energy. We're glad to have you. Today we're going to talk the keys to the Dodgers winning the World Series, keys to the Blue Jays winning the World Series, who's hot, and we'll wrap it up with our World Series predictions. Let's get right into it. The Dodgers are representing the National League once again in the World Series, so let's go over a few keys for them to take this one home and be back-to-back World Series champs. I see the Dodgers having multiple paths to winning this World Series. The first path, which I think is more likely, is that they're just a better offense. I mean, top to bottom, there's no real holes in that offense, especially when you've got guys like Tommy Edman showing up as an outstanding role player, Andy Pages, Max Muncy, Will Smith, your boy. Not the big three, but still a very intimidating group that can fill out that roster behind your Shohei Ohtani's, Freeman's, and Mookie Betts. However, the key that I'm going to go with is push those starters deep in the game. You've got 4 Cy Young caliber pitchers: Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, and Blake Snell, all of whom, for the most part, have looked great. We saw Roki Sasaki go 9 innings, a complete game. We've seen Ohtani stretched out to 6 innings. If they allow those starters to go deep, then you are just completely pushing their biggest weakness out of the equation. We know the Dodgers have bullpen pieces. We also know that that bullpen is not deep. Right. If you can give me Snell into the 7th, then you run out Tanner Scott, who's coming off the day-to-day injured list, and Roki Sasaki, who's been their closer for this playoff run and has looked outstanding. That splitter is freaking devastating. It's disgusting. He can pump it in there in the high 90s. So I am completely comfortable with any lead going Tanner Scott, Roki Sasaki. I really do think Dave Roberts managing the pitching staff is the key, and he can do that by allowing those starters to go at least 6 every game, God willing, unless there's an injury or they're just getting hit all over the park, which I really don't see happening. And we'll talk about that a little bit in our Blue Jays keys, actually. Josh, I'll turn over to you. What are you expecting the Dodgers to do well in this series? And if you have a key I didn't mention, please drop that one on us.
Well, first of all, great keys. You always come through the clutch. It's nothing surprised me there. But you mentioned a few that I kind of want to point out. You know, you talked about how Dave Roberts is managing his pitching staff and whatnot. I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to say how Will Smith manages his pitching staff. Dave has been there. Dave to me, Roberts, manages his pitching staff throughout the whole year very well, especially when you talk about the injuries that he had to deal with, and then getting them back to a level where they could perform and be stretched. When you talk about, you know, having the Shohei pitch 2 to 3 innings here and there and add an inning 2 throughout the playoff stretch, it's for this reason. It's for this series. So all the metrics that they use to get their pitchers to where they need to be in this moment has worked. And this is where my point comes into play, is the experience. These guys have been here before, right? This roster is not too far off from what last year's was. So you're talking about guys that have been there before, pitchers that have been there before, pitchers that have pitched in big games before, and a manager who has been in a big time situation before, which to me is the most crucial point in this whole series. I think this is one of my X factors, which we'll talk about later on. But that is one of my X factors. I mentioned Will Smith managing that pitching staff. This pitching staff, by the way, who are 2 Rays, former Rays on this pitching staff, so it kind of hurts me a little bit. But beside the point, you guys already know how I feel about Will Smith and everything like that. But at the end of the day, I got to give him his flowers. That type of caliber pitching staff, it takes a special type of person to control and manage. And these both Roberts and Will Smith have done that flawlessly, if you ask me. They're not scared of the moment. They're not making the moment bigger than what it is for their pitchers. And not only that, these pitchers want that moment. So when that moment gets to that situation, whatever it is in the series, which a little foreshadowing, I don't think there's going to be too many big moments because the Dodgers are on paper supposed to, wipe. Anyway, so like these situations are going to be huge because they've been there before. So that's my biggest takeaway that I want to give when we're talking about the Dodgers. Their experience, how the catcher has been taking care of that pitching staff, and overall the managerial staff putting their pieces in the right places to succeed and making it go well with it. You know what I mean? So that's what I got for the Dodgers.
And I appreciate you giving Dave Roberts some flowers. I feel like he has been looked at as a guy who is carried by a great team. But I think there have been times throughout this playoff stretch, particularly, where he really showed what he's got going on up here. He knows ball. He was 100%. A role player as a professional. He knows how to put their aces in their places and when to utilize specific talent. And I think that will show up big in this World Series. With that, though, let's move on to the Blue Jays. Now it's time to turn our attention to the American League champions. Unfortunately, the Toronto Blue Jays. Josh and I were both big time on the Mariners bandwagon this season, particularly Cal Raleigh. But it is going to be the Blue Jays representing the American League. And Josh, what you do so well is set me up for my point. The key to the Blue Jays winning the World Series, one, is that the Dodgers somehow go missing for a week and aren't able to play the World Series. Just kidding. Right. If they are to win this series, I don't think they will. Right. It is because they grow some patience at the plate. The Blue Jays are a team that is top 5 in first pitch swings. I believe 2 years ago when I actually started tracking this stat, the Blue Jays were first by a long shot. And against an inexperienced pitching staff, that works. You ambush a high fastball. You start to learn a pitcher's tendencies on the first pitch. Maybe they're a guy who likes to go off speed to set up the fastball and you jump that. I think I think the Dodgers have a lot of crafty pitchers, particularly your boy Blake Snell. I think they are going to know, and Will Smith is going to know, that the Blue Jays are a free swinging team, and they are going to try to use that to their advantage. If that happens, the Blue Jays need a counter by showing some patience at the plate. Take a pitch or two, drive up those pitch counts, and try to get those star pitchers out of the game no later than the 5th inning. If you're letting Glasnow, Snell, Yamamoto, Ohtani work into the 7th inning, it is over. Because one, that means they are winning the game, and Roberts is going to keep rolling with them. 2, you're going to have Tanner Scott and Roki Sasaki, like I mentioned previously. Draw some walks, sustain some innings. Don't live or die by the home run ball like they have seemed to do all year. Obviously, LA is a great park to hit home runs in, but the Dodgers are another team that hits a lot of home runs. You're not going to beat the Dodgers by trading body blows back and forth like a Rocky movie. You're going to have to play some situational baseball, work some counts, steal some bases, and out small ball them. I mean, it's sort of tough to put together these keys because the Dodgers are a team that can counter so many advantages. And in the World Series, I think advantages tend to win out. Dodgers have more advantages. Blue Jays have to try to counter those, play a little bit of baseball chess, so to speak.
Yes.
This is a difficult segment for me to put together because as you see in our predictions later, I don't think there is a way the Blue Jays win this series without a complete collapse from LA. But Josh, give us something.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that, unfortunately. It's going to be tough to beat the Dodgers, but this segment is about the Blue Jays. So this is key points, which you hit a few. Again, you're on it today. Like I said, I'm not surprised. Small ball is going to be key. I think that they have to use a page out of Dave Roberts' background and what Dave Roberts used to do so well as a player. Slap ball, pressure on the base paths, bunting, hit and runs.
Hold on. Are you about to say Jimenez?
Yes.
Can we just take a moment to talk about his bunt? Oh my God. Runners on first and second. They're trying to set up George Springer. He drops one down right in between the catcher and the pitcher. You know, as a catcher, that's one of the hardest balls to field because you're running head on into a pitcher who's also going to that. You're trying to communicate. I got it. You got it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Andres Jimenez. Way to go, my man. Anyway, back to you.
Yeah, no, great point, because that's what I was going to say. I mean, everybody's seen the home run that Springer hit, but how did that get there? You know what I mean? And that's why the game, the game has lost the small ball, because that's now exciting, but it's winning games still. That's a recipe that still to this day works. So small ball is going to be key for them. You mentioned going deep into the counts to take out the pitchers and whatnot. I agree. I think that they need to be a little bit more patient and like I mentioned, the situational hitting, but I think it's also getting in the pitchers' heads. You're talking about very, very competitive pitching staff over there in LA, but they're also a pitching staff that's easily, in my opinion, that if you play with them, like the baseball way of playing with them, calling time, taking your time in the box, just the little nuances of the games that nobody talks about, that takes a little bit of the away from the rhythm of the pitcher. Things like that is going to play a factor. Now, is it going to play a factor in a big way? I don't know, but little things add up, right? So that's one thing. And I know we've run out of time, but real quick, another point. The big time players that got the Blue Jays here need to continue to be big time players. Your Vladdies of the world, your George Springers. And then honestly, and I'm just because I'm a catcher too, I mean, Kirk has been doing a tremendous job back there. And Jimenez, nobody's talking, like you said, the guy is not going to bat 300. The guy is probably not even batting his weight. If I should have checked that stat before this podcast, but he is a role player that makes a difference. And when you make a difference in a big time part of the game, it could flip the momentum. When you flip the momentum, there's no way that nobody can determine what's going to happen in the outcome. So if they can somehow get that momentum, play small ball, get in their heads, play their game, take them out. When I say their game, play, Blue Jays ball and let the Dodgers get frustrated because they're not playing their brand of ball, then it might be a series to watch out for. If that does not happen, this series can get over quick and can get ugly quick. That's all I'm going to say.
Andres Jimenez with 2 big home runs in that series, a guy who doesn't hit for a lot of power. And like you said, Blue Jays ball versus Dodgers ball, very similar. Dodgers do it better, a lot of power. I think the Blue Jays have to try to establish their own version of it. And whatever that looks like, I spent hours today trying to figure out how the Blue Jays can realistically win this series, and anything can happen. Anything can happen.
You're right about that.
It's going to be freaking tough. With that, let's move on to Who's Hot. We are about to do something on our Who's Hot segment that we haven't done all season. That's because early on in the year, we banned Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge from appearing in this segment because they're always hot. And what fun is it to talk Judge Ohtani, Judge Ohtani, Judge Ohtani?
Right.
I, as operator of the Cycle podcast, am pulling that rule temporarily to talk Shohei Ohtani. And I took on sort of a trip down memory lane for myself. When Ohtani came to the league, I said, you can either pitch well, you can hit well, you can't do both at a high level. I said, maybe he's a starting pitcher that can DH occasionally. Maybe they can have him play outfield. He could pinch hit on his days off. Or he is a hitter who can pitch occasionally. Spot start, bullpen role. Be honest with yourself. You thought the same thing.
Yeah, no.
No? You thought he could do this?
I thought he can do this.
You're lying. You're a liar. It hasn't been done since Babe Ruth. It hasn't. Maybe you did.
I'll wait till I talk. And then yes. Because I'll counter that.
Did anybody think in a National League Championship Series game, to win the series and go to the World Series, there would ever be a human being who could hit 3 home runs and pitch 6 innings of quality ball?
No.
Quality ball, pumping 100, his splitter, another Japanese splitter, disgusting. And he looked like a kid playing, like, when the dad comes out to play wiffle ball with the kids, that's what he looked like at the plate. It was the most impressive performance of baseball I've ever seen in my life. And you have to just sit back in awe and say, thank God Shohei Ohtani plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Because if he was playing for the Angels, we would never get to see this. He'd be another Mike Trout. They would be mismanaging him. They would be putting him. They'd try to have him play outfield like they were talking about. It's incredible. He's the hottest athlete on the planet. So
it's insane.
I'll turn over to you. I don't believe you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't know if I would take it that far in saying that, yes, I can think that he can do what he is doing now, because then, yes, that would be a lie. What I'm saying is that I think he can be a quality pitcher and a quality hitter. What I mean by quality, average, above average, around there, not the top pitcher and not the top batter. That's a little far-fetched, but can he do both? Absolutely. Now, a question was brought to us, when I say us, the coaching staff at the high school that I coach at. So after that performance, what he did, 10 plus strikeouts, 3 home runs in a very, very, very important game. After seeing that, is he worth the money that they're giving him? I'll let you answer that real quick and I'll continue on.
I think he's worth more.
See,
I think you could have signed Shohei Ohtani for $1.2 billion and he would be worth it. Why?
Yeah.
Jerseys, parking, ticket.
Oh, absolutely. They get their money back quick this year.
One thing I saw was the amount the Dodgers are earning from the Japanese market in merchandise and advertisements, and Japanese companies coming to the Dodgers organization saying we want to sponsor you. They've paid back the contract already. They've been paid already. They've covered it.
Yes, already. It's
already
worth
done. Everything.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you gotta understand, on the business side of things, genius. Where they're at in location to, Japan, the whole 9. This was a brilliant, brilliant business move. But let's talk about the player himself, right?
Yeah.
Babe Ruth only had one time in his whole career that he hit 10 home runs and had multiple home run.
10 strikeouts, multiple home runs.
Correct. In one game. Thank you for elaborating on that. And so this guy has did 10 strikeouts and hit 3 home runs in one game. Never been done before. Mind you, also, Babe Ruth wasn't facing the type of caliber baseball players that Shohei is playing today. Also, Babe Ruth is not throwing 100 going into the 6th inning. Also, Babe Ruth is not hitting 470-foot bombs in that type of situation. So what we're seeing right now is a unicorn. We got to realize that.
That's an overused term, by the way, in sports these days. It's a true unicorn. A true unicorn.
That's what I'm saying. He is a true unicorn. What we are seeing is a display that it's too many people are trying to do, but I don't think it's going to be done for years to come. At that level, at that intensity, at the peak of his career, and with all the pressure, right? Everything that's on his shoulders, and still being able to come out there and outperform his standards every day, so on and so forth. So as baseball fans, I want to tell our followers and our listeners to really appreciate what we're seeing here. It's like, seeing Jordan in his prime, LeBron in his prime, whatever it may be, whatever other references you want to make, whoever your favorite baseball player is, you are seeing somebody that's that plus more in his prime. So take advantage of it. Appreciate what we have here. And I'm just so happy that he is in a position to display his talents in the postseason. Because real quick, we always talk about, these top-notch players that are talented, but once they get into the playoffs, they kind of, take a blunder or they fall off. Your Peyton Mannings of the world, your Lamar Jacksons, whatever it may be in other sports. But for him to come in with like I said earlier, the pressure and still being able to not only perform, but outperform his standards, to me is just unheard of. And I'm just so appreciative as a sports fan, as a baseball fan, to be alive and witnessing this. So I can tell my kids, 20 years down the road, when they're talking about him like Babe Ruth, I'm like, that was,
I saw it.
He shit it on base. Yes, exactly. So that's just my little take. What we're seeing right now is something very, very special. He's worth every penny that he's getting, plus more. But at the end of the day, he's worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for him. And the Dodgers are brilliant because not only did they make their money back, but now it's still continue on for the rest of the years of his contract. So I don't see anything falling off from him. I think he takes the next level as far as his play is concerned, and it's going to be amazing to watch.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. With that, it's time to make a prediction or two. Due to the fact that we went a little over time on all three of our segments today, we're going to try to wrap this one quick. There's not much to predict, but it came to me in my dreams. I knew exactly how this is going to go, and I'm going to tell you. Games 1 and 2 are going to go to the Los Angeles Dodgers. If there is a blowout, it's going to be in either game 1 or 2. They're going to go back to LA, Toronto back against their walls, caged animal, going to fight back, win one game, game 3. Games 4 and 5 are going to be pitching masterpieces from whoever's on the mound for the Dodgers. It's going to be close, maybe 5-2, 6-4, but the Dodgers are going to win decisively. It's going to be a type of game where the Blue Jays were in it, but they were never in it. Dodgers in 5. Josh, you make your prediction.
That's very cute and very nice of you to.
I think about baseball a lot.
Right. No, well, to give the Blue Jay fans hope out there, but I'm here to crush their dreams. This ain't going past 4 games, ladies and gentlemen. And there might be a game or two that might be close. And when I say close, maybe like a 7-4 ball game. This is no disrespect to the Blue Jays. I'm as a fellow fan of the AL East, I'm rooting for anybody that's representing our division, but this is just head and shoulders above what they're used to. This is a juggernaut. Now, granted, they have some momentum coming in, but the Dodgers were built for this moment. They weren't worried about the regular season. Their whole mindset was for this moment. It's going to be ugly, and it's going to be ugly quick. Unfortunately, I got, like I said, 4-0 Dodgers in a blowout. That's it.
I don't think you're wrong there. However, you are more than welcome to leave your predictions down in the comments, guys. We want to hear from you. Tune into this World Series. People aren't happy about a Canadian team in the Dodgers. However, you're going to see some amazing baseball. Tune in, show the sport some love, and next season we can go back to rooting against the Dodgers for someone to take them down. Them winning back-to-back is only going to make next season more exciting. With that, Josh, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you having you back. We will be back for a World Series wrap-up, and if this goes for any reason to 7, there's a chance I might do a live stream, might head down to you, Josh. We'll see what it is, what day of the week that falls on. I don't think that's going to happen, so don't mark it on your calendar.
Yeah,
Josh,
I'm not holding my breath. Even though I would like to see you, I'm not going to hold my breath. But man, thanks for having me again, listeners and supporters. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys. Let us know your predictions, any questions or anything like that. Let us know. I'm happy to be back. And this is World Series, baby. This is what we waited all season for. So I'm happy it's finally among us.
Go Royals. We'll see you next week after the World Series. Peace.
See ya.